Hello, talented people. This is Catrina Frison of Banner Media Group. And today we're going to talk about mindset, in particular, facing your biggest fears. All the time, I hear people say to me, and over the years, I've heard people say to me, make different statements as relates to their speculation of what it's like in the entertainment industry. And I'll give you some examples. I've heard parents say, well, my child wants to model, but I don't want them to get taken advantage of. That's a big one, whether it's modeling or some other type of job in the industry. My child wants to pursue music, but I don't know if they can really make a living doing that. That's another one that's big. Or I've heard talented people say themselves, well, I want to become, you know, a singer but I don't really have any connections. I don't really know anybody that's in the industry. So, these are things that people say all of the time and these are things that are legitimately concerns for people. And the thing that I hear in those conversations, to be quite honest, is fear. Um Fear of the unknown or fear of what they think will happen. So, first of all, I want to say, just for the record, God is not giving you a spirit of fear, but He's giving you power, love, and a sound mind. And that goes especially for you, the believer. Um, but the other thing that I want to say is I believe that if you face your biggest fears going in or before you go in, then it makes it way easier to navigate the waters of entertainment. Um, Lots of times become fearful over things that haven't even happened because of something that we've seen, something that someone else has said, misinformation. People talking about something that they don't specifically know really about. Because people have all kinds of opinions about those who work in entertainment. You can find you can find crazy comments in every celebrity's social media page. Someone who's talking about something, giving an opinion about something that they've done, and they don't even know this person. They don't even know the situation. They're not even in the industry at all. You know what I mean? But have real life in real time opinions about what's going on. And so that can deter you. It can keep you from pursuing your dream. And even when when you have an idea of what you want to do, or you have more experience, usually people with less experience are the ones who are the most opinionated. They really are. So here's the thing that I want you to recognize is that there are ways in which you can overcome these fears. Now, I understand, I'm a parent. I understand every parent's concern about their child being taken advantage of because, unfortunately, there are people in the industry that have done that and have done that in a horrific way. But I believe there are certain things that you can do to eliminate that possibility for your child. To give you an example, I'll give you some examples of things that happened to me personally. So I was in college and presented with an opportunity to enter a pageant. And the pageant would afford me scholarship money for college, which I needed. And so I thought, oh, okay, well, that might be fun. It seemed like a big talent show to me. So I felt like, okay, I could sing and, that would be my talent. But the thing that I also discovered is that I was going to have to walk across the stage in high heels. And one of the things that deterred me at the time from modeling at all, like people would always say, well, you should be a model. And I was like, no, because I had a fear of walking across a stage in high heels and falling. Literally, that is what every time I thought about modeling, that is what I thought when it came to me. And so I had to overcome that fear in order for me to get um, acclimated to the idea of walking across the stage in high heels. I had to overcome it some kind of way. So I entered the pageant, and then I went to a department store and I bought me a pair of high heels. I don't know, 2, 3 inches is what I think happened. And I made a decision that I was going to practice walking in those heels until I had mastered it. Now, I was so determined to do this that I changed my wardrobe. I mean, adjusted my wardrobe, and I literally wore those high heels to class every day. Now, let me tell you, the first day that I wore those heels, I almost broke my ankles. No kidding. It was painful, and I was stumbling and looking crazy to my classmates. But I was determined that I was going to learn how to walk. And not only that, but on my campus, there were cobblestones in the pavement, which just made it worse. But I was determined I was going to learn how to walk in these heels. So I stumbled to class. I stumbled for days just trying to walk in the heels. And I had a friend, bless her heart, she was in who lived in my dorm. She says, Katrina, she said, you have to stand up straight. You have to take your time. She talked to me about it. And she said, you have to, you know, put your the balls of your feet, step on that. I mean, she gave me like great advice in terms of how to walk in heels. And so I listened to her and I tried that. So it got easier and it got easier and it got easier. And the thing that's so funny is I remember one day coming into class. Now, this is weeks later, about 2 weeks later, I walk into class and I'm not stumbling. And my classmates are like, yes, give that girl a hand. Okay. But I practiced every day wearing those heels until I got it. So when it came time for me to walk across the stage, piece of cake. It was like I was wearing sneakers. No big deal at all. Another thing that happened, I remember when I was approached to be the lead singer of a pop group when I was in high school. And the manager of this group came to meet my family and to talk, about the contract and all of that. And I hear parents say all the time, I don't really know the industry, I don't want my child getting taken advantage of, that kind of thing. And I understand, as a parent, I understand that fully. Here's the thing the advice that I always give parents. If you don't know the industry, then this is a great time for you to learn it. And this is also a great time for you when you're presented with something for your child to ask as many questions as you need to get a full understanding. Because that is exactly what my grandmother did in that meeting. She went through this contract and she asked a million questions, it seemed, so that she fully understood. And she asked it in different ways. Are you sure that this is what's going to happen? And this is what's going to happen? And this is what's going to happen? And not only did she ask those questions to be clear, but she also gave her non-negotiables in terms of this transaction. She says, if we let her, enter into this contract, there are a few things that you're going to that you need to know about our family. She is supposed to maintain her grade point average. She's supposed to do her schoolwork. And she is supposed to go to church on Sundays. So if you're going to book a concert, it cannot be during church. I mean, these were literally what she said to him. She said, now, she is not going to be on that stage looking any kind of way. So you need to make sure that I see those costumes that y'all give for her before and approve them before she get out there. I mean, like, it was, my granny was not playing. But I recommend that to every parent who is walking alongside their child concerning being in entertainment. Now, Another parent came to me one time and said, well, my daughter's talented, but I just don't know if that's going to be consistent money for her. I don't know if she can make a living doing this. Now, the reality of it is you don't always come out of the gate making consistent money in entertainment. There are levels to this, and there are tracks to this in terms of, and I say all the time, everybody's journey is different. But if you are consistent in your work and you are consistent in delivering the service, whatever that may be in the industry, then there is a consistency that comes in terms of your compensation. Now, you have a dream in your heart. There's something that you want to do and you're nervous about it. Listen, commit that thing to prayer, but also you might need, you might need some information. You might need some insight. You may need to ask some questions of someone who's in the industry. I'd love to be that person for you. So if that's you, visit us at bannerexcellence.com. Sign up for a professional chat. I'd be happy to talk about, what it is you're nervous about and how to help you get past that. If this is helpful to you, please like this video, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and share with your friends. Have a great day.